With the job, a little bit of warm up. Plus, onegaishimasu.
Onegaishimasu.
The body off from the feet, keeping the jaw in front of the body. Just working the toes, pressing the heels into the ground, working the arches as you come up. Let's work a little bit at the same time, just grasping the jaw, so just turning the grip on. Keep everything nice and loose, so it's just in the hands, just gripping. And every so often, if you want, just kind of come to a stop with it. Just stop. Just feel like it kind of pulls through the whole system. It's just vertical, so you just kind of bring the body up. Also play with the arms, bringing them up. Okay, and just coming front and back. Just let the arms follow the body, nice and loose. Just play every so often, just grasping the jaw, nice and tight with the hand. You can do this also coming into a stance. It starts to go like that rowing exercise, but just keep it, really the hips gonna go. The whole body's gonna go long. So it's not so much this. Just coming from the hip. Feet nice and stable. And then every so often just feel you can pulse through the heart, through the hands. Doesn't even have to be in hammy. Sometimes better if it's not. Okay, then going side to side. Just let the jaw go. Also just put the jaw to one side, one hand. Okay, just start to come into a kind of gripping position. This, and you're kind of pulling the body out. So it's like someone's taking an 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒖𝒊𝒔𝒄𝒄 out on you. So you get the grip and then you draw it out. Draw it out. Just go to the point, a kind of sideways move. And what you do with the 𝒂𝒄𝒄 obviously is just start to spiral into it with the body, into these kind of positions. Nice and tight. And then just start to feel you can twist the arms over, so the arms are going to do something like this. So the arms are going to kind of switch place. Go, 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 go. And you've got the leverage in the other hand. Now start to feel that you can draw this arm out even more. So if you just push with that one a little bit more, you can basically draw the body out. Just start to follow it with the body. Feeling's like wringing the whole body out. Top to bottom. Yeah. That's it. Great, and then just come into a rotation, keeping the hips nice and loose. If you feel like it starts to get the feet rotating with it too. If you want, again, you can just keep your jaw in one hand. Watch the through. with both. And you're just playing a little bit with grasping. So a little bit as you come through the motion, just fix the motion. Fix the motion. You want to do it quite loose, so let the body kind of swing through it. Swing through it. You don't have to imagine striking something, just imagine the body's kind of ringing into position. Once you've got it, you can just start to play with different levels. So you can actually think about getting actually these kind of positions. Static. So here, let's let the hands come in together. Go. And let's start moving the feet a little bit. And also to the back, so you've got these kind of 𝒉𝒆𝒂𝒕 movements. Really based on this kind of opening the hip. Out. 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 And then if you really start to open these movements out, you've got things like 𝒂𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒂, these kind of movements. Or 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒖𝒂𝒕, really pressing in, up, through. Just let the whole body go with it. And keep it nice and loose. Don't think too much about the techniques. Really just looking at the relationship between the hands, and what's between the two hands and the center. Imagine a kind of triangulation between the hands and the hips. Actually more like a square because you've got two hips, two hands, but feel that the hips work at that point together. Together. And then just start to open the jaw out a little bit, so start to work a little bit more free with the jaw, rolling it through these kind of positions. And again, every so often just come into a kind of position with the hands come online. Really focusing on the grip, center. Grip, center. Just play with different positions, different arrangements of the hands. Be quite free with the jaw. That's it. That's nice. There we go. Nice. Okay, great. We'll do a little set. This one, you start from 𝒊𝒔𝒏𝒕. Okay, you roll the jaw back, and then you roll in, strike, and then you roll it over, and come in with the hip. So it's really 3 different hip movements as you do it, but in this case, you start 𝒊𝒏𝒕, nice and neutral, and then roll the hip back, press the hips in. Here's just like a strike, so it's quite high, go, and then roll the jaw over, press the hips in. And then you can just roll back into 𝒊𝒏𝒕. So you've got 1, 2, 3 coming in, and then rolling back. And just put all the focus is really in the hip work. So just really focus on what the hips are doing. Back, in, roll it over, settle the hips in, and just draw it back. Set. You can do this both sides, but you might want to stick to one just to start. That's it. Whoosh. Nice. Sit. Right, and just get the level of the hips where you're really looking at function. So what you're trying to do here is draw the jaw back. So with the hips, I need to have something that's quite sharp back. So the hips are moving a very minimal position. What I don't want to do is like a big kind of hip work here, because the jaw work's actually very small. So I just want to get from that position to that. And I want the hips to be in a position where I can just pass them forward. And as you come into this one, if you think about it, what you're doing is either blocking with it or striking with the tip of the jaw. So I need this hip to be coming in quite sharp. So if you think about this is like a 𝒂𝒂𝒿 strike, this coming in. So the hip needs to be very sharp in that movement. And then as you go to this movement, I need the hips to go circularly. And then I need, in this case, this is really like a press down through. So the hips have got this kind of quality, this in. So just go to like the function of the movement and just try and get the hips to really generate that movement or generate that function. There. Back into the command. If you get comfortable with it, just go to the other side. It's exactly the same. There. And then in. Really feel the connection between the two hands as well. There we go. Nice. Great. Yeah. Was. There we go. So we'll just add something to that last movement. So as you come to this one, really think that this movement's quite sharp because you've got to basically get a strike coming in. So it's got a kind of sharpness to it, which is just going to flow through. So it's got a kind of quality, and then hip rolls through. Now the quality of this strike, the quality of this movement isn't the same because it's not a strike so much as a kind of cushioning pressure through the body. So what you're doing in this case is compressing it. So it's just a kind of suppressing movement. So that the quality of the body needs to have that same quality. So it's no use I kind of suppress the person by hitting as I go in. You're gonna basically cause damage in the body. So I actually want the feeling like I'm dropping down a cushion onto the body. So I want the feeling of boom through the body. So I'm trying to affect this in the person's body and not something like that. So I don't want to strike them in this case. So you've got that movement, and then from here, really let the body kind of cushion in this way. And then from here, once you got it, you basically got the person here trapped here. All you're going to do from here is from the ground, roll the person over. So you've got that movement, and then from the back of the jaw, back foot, roll the body out. Roll the body out, and then the jaw comes down to the ground. So you've got that move, boom, and then from here, let the hips go out this way. And because you're not going to partner, it doesn't matter what angle you take, but it's just the quality of the movement. So this suppressing in, and then here, rolling the hips over. This, we're finishing nice and stable. It's really like a kind of a kill movement. This kind of movement. Just give it a try. So you've got to kind of draw back, a strike. It's kind of suppressive movement. And then you're just taking the person over to the side. Just roll the body over. Okay, so it's a little bit about maintaining the tension in the body. So just watch this. If I do something like that, I've got all the tones in the body. Now, as soon as I go to move the body, I don't want to do something like this with the arms and then do something. Or I lose it and then do something else like this. But keep this idea of really, there's a kind of tone in the body, this. And then as you go over, it stays. So it stays in the body. So, and this is the connection between the two hands, the center of the jaw and the end. So my feeling's going out to the end of it, but the moment I do something like that, it's gone. Even if I've got it still in the center, this has gone really loose. So the slack's gone out of the movement. So think about the slack in the arms. There's no real slack in it. It's nice and strong, and then the body rolls through it this way. So that movement's coming from the hip again. So it's not coming from the arms. Otherwise you're doing something like that. So keep this feeling. You can also exaggerate this movement, really also take it to the back, but feel that that motion's going to come from the hip. And the arms just follow the hips. Follow the hip. Follow the hip in this way. So just see if you can keep. There's a kind of level of, it's not quite tension, I call it kind of tone, because the body's in a kind of engaged position. That's it. I just show what you're kind of doing with it, because what you need is like this first move's a suppression, so you're going here onto the body. Now as you move, you want to continue that suppression, but you want to take it out of the angle so the jaw stays like this until this position, the person goes over, and then you continue the motion down. But it's not something like this. If you do that, you basically do something like this. The jaw just slides over the top, and then I'm free. And then I can get out. So what you're looking for is maintain this angle as you go. There, and then as the person gets tipped over, then I change it. And then you come into this kind of position or something like that. But just be careful about the angle. And you'll also feel it's about the tension in the body as well. Because as soon as I change the angle to that, I lose it. It's gone. It's gone. Where's it gone? Something there. That's it.
Yeah. So it's not the one where you're catching in between the arms.
No, this one's right on the body. Wham! This one. Yeah, and if it was the catch between the body one, that would also be quite similar. But I've got a bigger lever. So in that case, you're in that position. In that case, I've got that motion. It comes that way. Actually, all those techniques are actually all the same, but they rely on either a big lever or a brutal lever, or just on the body. So pretty very similar. Yeah. Explore the hip work. That's it. Whoa! Yeah. Okay, great. So we'll come back to that at the end, maybe. But in this case, we're just going into the hasso set. So I'll do the first one with this jaw. But you go here, this way, and then as you go in, you're going to go into the uchi. If you've got the ceilings, come into the high position. So if you've got high ceilings here. If you've not, you can come into this position with the jaw. Find the hips, or you can use a bokken or a short stick. So it comes in here. Roll back, find this position, the hands open, the jaw's just at the side of the body, and then draw it to center. Insert the hips in. Keep that same attention in the hip work. What are the hips doing? And how are they passing the movement through the weapon? Okay. And again, just really emphasize the hips in this case. This very first movement, so big hip work. So in this case, really let the hip open to the back. So you've got this kind of motion. At the same time, I don't want the body to kind of twist out to it. So I'm keeping the focus here, but letting the hips go. Now, as you find this position, the hips come into place in this configuration. But I don't kind of maintain this. So just be careful of doing something like this. There. It's basically just the arms doing it. The Joe's not really free to, the hip's not really working to express the movement. So get the sense that this motion's coming from the hip. So that very first motion is that, coming with the hip, that, coming with the hip, that. And then the hip's going to really fire backwards that way. So it's going to go really out to the back. And then you catch the hip back here. So I'm placing this hip back. And then that leaves me in the position to come forward. We got really powerful hip work for this movement. Yeah. Just let the hip go. The front hip's going to really go, boom, and then it collects at the back, and then presses forward that way. That's it. Yeah. That's it. Boom. Good. There you go. Just see again, really try and get this fit. This is an annoying part of the training, but you've got to be really conscious about this moment. What I don't want to do here is roll the body forward into the front. So you don't want to come forward, press into the jaw, and then fall back into it. So really be conscious about the weight of the body here being in the center, and then as you move, press the body back. So just feel that someone's right in front of you. Feel that there's a wall here. You can't press forward into it. You can, but you're going to lean into the wall. So just think that this is not a space I can enter. This is not a space I can enter. I just need to roll the body back and go this way. But just think about that. It's really obvious. If I go with the arms, it will pull me out. So it's where I'm starting in the body, where I'm starting the movement from. But just feel the hip. If I go with the hip, I can take it back, straight back. If I go with the arms, it's going to pull me forward automatically. So just really be conscious about it. And it's the essential part is like how I start. So the 𝒂𝒗 is actually really crucial to it. The moment I'm forwards or kind of loaded back, then I'm going to go into different places. So really feel that 𝒂𝒗 is really essential for what I'm going to go next is there. And just notice how hard that is, going from a really still position, balanced, and then straight back. This is really difficult to do with like no extra movements and no loading in the body. That's it. And this is really crucial later for when we come into the 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒄 work with a partner. So if you think about the body work we do this movement all the time, but just feel, I just want the body to just go back. Just go back. And you can practice this really easy. I just stand and I just take the body back. The difficult things, what I'm doing with the arms and what I'm doing with the hip, but just get that down. Go. Same thing for when you're in the 𝒂𝒗, Hasso 𝒂𝒗. Really get the body to just pass forward into it, just back, just forward, just back.
Michael, can we say that the movement, the Hasso movement, the beginning of the Hasso movement starts in the back foot? So the very first beginning part.
It goes to the back foot, but it started in the hip again. So that movement actually is coming from the hip, and then that transfers from the hip into the foot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's the first part to go. Let's say it's the first. Actually, it's not. But that quad, it's all going to come together. But the back foot's going to go. Back foot, go. Okay. And then it's just think about placing the back foot as well, because I need to be really careful how I place it, because how I place it will allow me to go back directly or not. So just be careful about it as well, or just listen to it. As you go, boom, how do I place the foot rather than I can just back into it. Yeah, just let the whole thing go.
Yeah, thanks.
And then it goes. There we go. Yeah. Good. That's it, Robin. Yeah. Good. There we go. Great. We'll go to the ski movement. So now you do the same, rolling up here, and then you press the body forward, thrusting in. Then from here, you adjust the hand, roll back up into this position here. So the thumb's down. Coming back. There goes 1, 2, hips really pressing in, and then 3, coming back up. 1, 2, 3. Whoosh. Whoosh. Nice. Just be conscious about the connection between the hips and the hands as you do this. So you're entering into a triangle. So you've got this position, and then this, and the hands press into a triangle. So you're in this kind of position here, this way. I don't want to go in this case like something like that, where the hips kind of pulling out, the hips kind of going here, and the hands are going forward. So just get it. But I also don't want to do something like that. This is really too frontal. So get the sense that you're entering into it. The width of the triangle is in the back of the body, and then that. But there's a quality of this connection through the hands, and then back up. Just work on this kind of quality. It's a really tight wedge triangle. That. Something like that. So it's a very tight move. That's it. There we go. That's it. Yeah. Great. Oh, yeah. Okay, good. Moving on. So we go to Shiro. So again, same Hasa move, and then fold the body down. Go here, and then send it to the back. And here again, you've got this kind of triangulation between the hips and the hands. It comes here. So just think constantly about the hips to the hands. Hips to hands, hips to hands, hips to hands. Here. Roll it back. A nice direct movement. Right to the back. Collect in, and then fire it to the back. Just that. Whoosh. That's it. Yeah, just watch one thing. This is you can get away with this in the basic, but as you go to speed, you'll find out this hand will work against you. So just watch this. As you go to this position, don't reach out with the hand. So you can reach it because you're doing slow. You can reach out and catch it, and then do that, something like that. As you take this into speed, I miss it almost every time. So if I go full speed with it, I can't really do it. So what I need this hand to be doing is following the jo. So as you go in, you've got this position, and then it's going to be here. So it's going to be in this kind of place, and then I let the jo come into the hand, and then I join it. So just be really conscious of what this hand's doing, because it really matters later, because I need that hand to be contributing to the movement and not trying to snatch the jo out. So just get this in here, really slow, but just feel how does that hand contribute to it. It's a very subtle movement. The movement's coming again from the hip, so it's not in the hand, so I'm not trying to do that with the body. It's the hip. And then that hand just follows and snaps in at the end. That's it. That's it. That's it. Very nice, very nice. Very nice. I'm a big fan of really exaggerating this last movement. So sometimes I do too much, but in this case, you go here, really feel that the whole body is being pressed backwards. So it's not just about the hips doing that, it's about the hips actually traveling in the space backwards. So you've got to imagine like someone's at the back of the body and I'm trying to get them away. So they're at the back, I'm trying to get them away. And I'm trying to do it in a way where I also slide the body in. So it's got this kind of impact quality from the body. So that impact's not coming from the jo, like this with the arms, actually coming again from the body. So feel that as you go down, you impact the ground back and back. So you've got to imagine someone's kind of on your back and you're trying to get rid of them. Whoa! That way. So you're trying to kind of impact them right to the back, but really feel that motion is there. And you can do this really slow, but just feel that it's something in the body. Something in the body. There. There's something really heavy. That's why I have relevance to all these Morotodori, all these Kokyunage movements we do. We've got that kind of quality. And then watch the wall. That's it. And if you've got an open space and a jo you don't really care about, and you're outside, you can just practice throwing it behind you. I do this a lot, like, whoa! Just throwing it behind me. Now, as long as the body's hitting the ground, the jo's going to kind of go over here. I don't want to throw the jo away, but I'm interested in kind of impacting, the feeling of impacting the body. Impacting the body. So I'm less concerned about what I'm doing with the hands, which is something like, oh, something like that. So I just get rid of it, just throw the jo away. Whoa! Just throw it away. So you can practice this kind of feeling as well. And as long as I keep the jo in the hands in the house, it's okay. I can get away with it. There we go. Great. Okay, we'll come to the next two sets. So this one, these are complicated for the hips. So when you do this one here, this is a strike to the rear. So you're going to rotate the body in and then strike down. This is a strike to the back, to the side of the knee, someone behind you. So as you go with this one, find the same hasso position, and then the whole body is now going to arc to the back, and then strike down to the rear. So this is hasso reishi, ushido, uchi, strike to the rear. Here, take your time with it. This, in. So reishi, shiro, uchi. Yeah. tricky one. Okay, think this is really just a variation on your basic strike. So it's really just a variation on this. It's not something different like that. So it's not a kind of swinging movement to the back. And I definitely, in this case, I don't want to just drag the jaw around this way. So when you're in this position, really feel that all this coordination work you do with the bokken work is really coming in here. So you go here, there. So it's this kind of motion. The arc in the jaw is going to come from the hips again. So the hands are really just doing something like that. You've got that motion, and then I pass an arc through the system. There. So it's actually a really simple movement, but the hip work is going to create the move. Maybe. Oh yeah. That's it. Okay. Yeah, and give the jaw a little bit of freedom as well. So as you go here, if I keep it in this kind of position and I just kind of rotate into it, it's not really got any freedom. There's no real feeling that I can pass a movement through it. So as you go, feel that the arms are gonna go with it. So when we do this kind of movement in the beginning, this kind of move where I'm really letting the arms loosen through the move. So I don't want to stiffen them and then just turn the body with it. So get the sense you're here, and then as you go with the hip, the arms are going to go into it. Arms are going into it. So just try a few times, just really loose with the body. You're here. The key thing in this technique is passing the spiral to the ground. Getting the spiral to really enter the ground, and you're doing it through a difficult move because I'm turning position. There. That way. That's it. We go. Good. So just again, look at where you're delivering the power to and how you use the body to do it. So if in this position I go here with the body, I'm drawing the body back. So I'm pulling the body away from it, and then I'm trying to strike and pull the body away at the same time. So if I exaggerate that, you do something like that. What I want in this case is to do something like this. So I'm trying to bring the body into it. So the whole body, this is the teaching from the first degree, is bringing the whole body into the technique. What I don't do is something like that. So this would be the same if I do something like that. It's really weak. So get the sense that as you do it, you're actually doing this foot just, I'm trying to show the footwork. This foot stabilizes the movement here, and then this one opens out. You got that position, that, and then that. So the whole thing's spiraling down, and out, but not back and out. This will split the body, so that's it. It's a tricky move because the lower body really needs to work as well, and the spine needs to be long all the way through. Not so easy. Yeah, that's it. Oh, yeah. Where's the body? Boom. That's it, Adrian. Yeah. That's it, Adrian. Good. Got it. Got it. That's it. Okay, great. You're all in. Good. Boom. That's it. Great. Now you'll find, see if you can basically get the wobble or get the focus in it. So you've got this kind of this kind of movement. You want the same thing here. That. So there's the snap in it too. Now that's difficult to get because I need the body's coming into a strange position. So I need to have hit the ground. By the time I make the impact, hit the ground, and pass it through. This is one of the hardest snaps to find because the body's really it's very easy for the body to get twisted up, and now I'm basically stuck in one side of the body. So just take that slowly, but just see if you can get passing through the movement with it. If you do this slow, you can really find it, but it won't feel very powerful at the start, but again, the main thing is just noticing what's happening between the two hands and the center. Wait, don't do that. There we go. That's it, that's it, that's it. Snap. Come on. That's it. That's it, that's it, that's it. Great. Okay, we'll do the last one in the Hasso set. So this is Hasso Gaishi Shiro Barai. So it means a kind of sweeping movement. So in this case, again, nice and loose. Just say the first few nice and slow, especially if you've got a small space. So you're going to go back, find the Hasso position, and then roll into it. Pass the jaw through in and out. So you're here, one. And then just do this in one big slow movement. Two. Coming back. Goes one, two, and then back. That's so right. Shiro Barai. There we go. That's it. Nice. What? Oh, oh, that's good. Yeah, good. Okay, so there's two ways you can look at this movement. One of them is like a kind of clearing, opening space out, so that people are going to pass in and boom and come out of it. So the feelings that you can kind of pass the movement through. The problem with that is it can get into this kind of movement. I just kind of pass the jaw through the space. So it needs to have a kind of potential with the strike. So again, it's got this kind of quality. So the best way to practice this is just think about drawing from this shoulder through, this shoulder through. So split, take away the rotation movement and just go to the hip work. So you're in this kind of position, you're entering in, and then just get the feeling that the hip's basically going to carry through. So again, it's the hip, the center of the body is going to drag the jaw through. What I don't want is the body to be dragged by the jaw. So I sometimes imagine I've got like a mop full of water and I'm trying to spray everyone around me with the water. And in order to do that, I need to get like a foom through it. And if I just pass the mop through the space, the water's just going to drip on the floor. Down. So I want the feeling of down and out. So it's got this kind of whip motion. So just practice from here, just that. Something like that. So again, it's about engaging the core through the movement. And because we're doing a rotation, very tricky to kind of keep that feeling. That's it. And once you feel you can catch it, just start increasing it into a rotation. That's it. That's it. Yeah. Good. This is one of the tricky positions, but if you look at that end position, you've got a triangulation through the hands. So this hand, and the center here. Now, the moment I do something like this, I'm not working with a triangulation. I'm working straight line. So the hip's basically pointed here, the jaw's pointed here. So you need a sense that the hip's going to engage here, but this hand and this hand. The tricky point of this position is that the hands are crossed. So normally we're working with a triangulation like that. hip, hand, that. In this case, the triangulation's across the hand. This, that, that. So just think about how the hips interacting with the two hands here. So it's much more about that than if I go to something like, the moment I lose that, it's just the arms. So just get a sense for that. There should be a sense of weight behind the jaw. And that's only going to come from having a connected center or a connected hip work to the arms. So just get a feeling for that motion. That motion will allow me to take it somewhere else. This kind of feeling will just spin me out totally. So I can't go anywhere else with that movement. So just look for, again, what's happening between the two hands and the hips. Two hands, hips. Two hands, hips. Whoom, and you can go with it. There we go. Yeah, good. That's it. And this is really a worthwhile, so we really try and break it down, break it into chunks. Just figure out what at each position, what's happening. Yeah, that's it. Nice. Okay, good. So the second way you can think about this is physically as a strike. So you're actually going to move forward with the body and hit something. The body, it's generally going to be the side of the body, or it's going to be the knee. So you're going to use this now in this way. So you roll in, and then just think, rather than just rolling back and finding a kind of opening, what you're going to do now is like roll into it and strike into it. So you can imagine the first one, just try as if someone's behind you. They're in this position. And what you've done is you come in and you've struck against the ribs this way, or the side of the head. But as you come in, you've got this, and then as you go, what you're going to do now is engage everything through. So it's like doing this, but you're going to now do this way. So you're coming through with the back leg. So this teaching isn't just to swing to the back, it's to mobilize the whole body. So get this feeling, and then just feel that everything mobilizes and comes through, and you're really striking through. So just play a little bit with it. And it can be in any position there. I just want that feeling of coming into stability. I really feel that you've gone now to a strike. So it's a change of really intention now. Goes through with it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Good, Nick. Great. Yeah. Nice, Catherine. Yeah. Good. Yeah, and it's also worthwhile in this case, do it kind of with very little focus in the dojo. So this kind of sense, and just feeling like the body can go. So really all that power is going to be generated from the body. So it's about my relationship to the ground, not how much force I can put into the arms. So just play a little bit, which is really useful, just to feel that from here, you're free to go with the body. So you can think about just walking out of it. You can think about coming into the ground, spiraling into the ground. But the main thing is just to feel the body as you do it, and the relationship of the body to the ground all the time. So just think about hitting the ground, and if you go into a walk, you just take that into motion. There you go. But just allow yourself to free the hands up a little bit, and you want to feed that back into the jaw. Let's go somewhere else. Okay, we'll do a set with the last two. So it goes like this. You do the hasso. Here, you rotate to the back, strike down. Now from here, what you're going to do, from here, what you're going to do is roll the body in this way. So the body's like this. And then what you do is rotate everything in towards the jaw this way. This, find the hasso, and then strike to the back. So you do like this. 1, 2, draw the whole body in, 3, and then 4. That's through. And then coming back. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here. Wow. Okay, just watch this idea of like tone through the body. So just watch this. I can get to the focus here, and then I do something like this. Everything kind of wobbles out of it. So it's still going to kind of, the looseness is going to transfer. So think about releasing the grip, releasing the arms, but actually that feeling in the body never really goes away. So think about the next move you're going to make is actually not only that, but either a block or a strike through with the hasso. So just watch the function of the hasso. It's not just a kind of swing back up to position. You've really got to function in the hasso that it's either covering the body or striking. And in either case, I need the body to be in structure to do it. So otherwise, it's just going to be very, very light. So it's not just about twirling the jaw around the body, but really get the sense that something's behind it. So there's always some kind of tone through the body. Tones. Whoosh. Whoa. There we go. Wait till nice. Good. Okay, last couple of minutes. We did this set yesterday, so you can also include this one in. So coming back, striking down, rolling back, thrusting in, coming to hit. Now you've got a choice. You can just go into the garanga, into the shiroski, or you can open the body up. Find the hasso. Sorry, I just want to. Find the body to the back, thrust in, roll to the back, strike, roll to the back, come into the back. You just mix them in. If you get confused, just go to either 1, 2, or 3, or 4, 5 with the set. But just see if you can link them together if you know them all. And there's no real direct, there's no set way. It's just the way how I link them. Whoosh. Just play around with them a little bit. Whoosh. Oh, yeah. Okay, just the last minute or so, just to open it out and get the kind of essence of this teaching is like how to get from one position just straight into the hatha. So all these forms just teach a way to do it. So just realize or just notice that any movement you're in, just get to a position and then feel like, how do I get to a hatha from here? There. Okay, and then you can do a movement. How do I get to a hatha from here? Do a movement. How do I take a hatha from here? Home. The movement. How do I get to another hatha? How do I get to another hatha? So just find yourself coming into position, and you can come into strange positions like 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂. Also, and just think, how do I get from here to there? And you can do it the long way around, you can do it a big way, you can do it a simple way, but just play with it. The hatha is really this move to really give you freedom. So it's a position I'm coming to really open all my options out. It's really accessible from lots of positions. So you can go from ski positions, uchi, shiroski, all these barai, anything you can think of. That's it. Whoosh. That's it. Good. There we go, there we go, there we go. Good. Great. Great. Okay, good. And for me, the more I play with these, the more I'm kind of playing with combinations or different variations. They just assist me in finding different combinations in terms of working with the 𝒂𝒏𝒈 as well, because there's one nice way to work the 𒂂𝒏𝒈 in this case, because they are chained movements in that case. What we'll do tomorrow is we'll look at the last set, this 19 and 20, which are really about chaining movements together in a kind of flowing way. But you can do this with any of the 𝒂𝒏𝒈 really. So hatha is a great one because it's a really super versatile movement. So we'll balance that. どうもありがとうございました。
どうもありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。
Thank you, Michael.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, very welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
My pleasure.